Hello everyone. Today I'll discuss about cell and two very important organelles, that is the cell wall and the cell membrane. The video will be very interesting and fascinating. Before I start the video, I want to thank all the subscribers who have subscribed to my channel. And if you like my videos and find them informative, then please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you. So without any more ado, let's begin. Variations in cells. The cells show a great variation in number, shape and size, not only in different organisms but also in various parts of the same organism. Number 1 is number. The number of cells in an organism is generally related to its size. Smaller the organism, lesser the number of cells. Similarly, larger the organism, larger the number of cells. Next come the size. The cell size can vary from being very small, which is microscopic, to very large. Next come the shape of the cell. The shape. The cells could be of various shapes according to their functions. They may be disc-like, polygonal, columnar, cuboidal, thread-like or even irregular. Human blood cells are round and biconcave and they lack nucleus. Can anyone tell me why? I hope you know the answer. But here I will again explain it to you. The unique shape of the RBCs or the red blood cell increases the surface area of the cell, which helps them to carry more oxygen. Also, they lack nucleus as they can facilitate more amount of hemoglobin so that it can carry more oxygen. Now you must know about the nerve cells in human beings. The nerve cells in human beings are the longest cell in humans. They are star-shaped cell bodies with branched dendrites and axons. The WBCs or the white blood cells are amoeboid, so they can squeeze through the capillary walls. Amoeboid means the cells are of amoeba shaped. Gut cells are bean shaped. Now can you tell me what is the function of the gut cell? Okay, I'm telling you. Well, they are cells which surround each stromata. They regulate the rate of transpiration by opening and closing of the stromata. Now cells can be of many types. First comes the single cell. The single-celled organisms are organisms which are made up of only one cell. Example, bacteria, yeast and amoeba. Few-celled, when organisms are just made up of a few hundred cells. Example, Spirogyra and Volvox. Multicellular, when made up of millions of cells. Example, human and tiger. Now, you must know that mycoplasma is the smallest cell and the largest cell which exists is, can anyone tell me? It is the egg of an ostrich. Now I will discuss in details about the organelles which are present inside a cell. I'll start with cell wall. Cell wall is the outermost layer of plant cell. Cell wall is not present in animal cells. It is non-living layer. It is freely permeable. In plants, it is composed of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectins and proteins. In algae, cell wall is made of CaCO3, which is calcium carbonate, cellulose, galactins, etc. The cell wall of a young plant cell That is, the primary wall is capable of growth, which gradually diminishes as the cell matures, and the secondary wall is formed on the inner towards the membrane side of the cell. The middle lamina is a layer mainly of calcium pictate which holds or glues the different neighboring cells together. Now the function of the cell wall. It provides mechanical support to the cell, protects the cell from infections, separates the content of the cell with the surrounding. Now I'll move on to cell membrane. It is the outermost layer of plant and animal cell. Am I correct? No, I am not correct. It is obviously the outermost layer of the animal cell, but what is the outermost layer of the plant cell? It is the cell wall, obviously. This cell membrane lies next to the cell wall. It is living, unlike cell wall which was non-living. Cell membrane is also flexible. Can you tell me what is the permeability of cell wall? It was freely permeable, which means it allows anything and everything to enter a cell. But a cell membrane is selectively permeable. It allows only certain substance to enter the cell. The structure. The cell membrane is composed of lipids that are arranged in bilayers. Bilayer means two layers. That means lipids are arranged in two layers. The lipids which are arranged inside the membrane has their polar heads facing outside and the hydrophobic tails, which is also the non-polar heads, facing inside. It ensures that the non-polar tail or saturated hydrocarbons are protected from the aqueous environment. The lipid component is composed of phosphoglycerides. Later biochemical investigation showed that membranes also possesses protein and carbohydrates. The ratio differs from organism to organism. Depending on the ease of extraction of membrane proteins can be divided into integral and peripheral. Peripheral means outside. So, the peripheral proteins are proteins which lies outside the cell membrane and it is very easy to extract them. On the other hand, the integral proteins are proteins which are embedded deep inside the cell membrane or it is totally buried. Thus, it does not allow us to extract them very easily. Now I'll talk about the fluid mosaic model, which was proposed by Singer and Nicholson in 1972. They said the quasi-fluid nature of lipids enable lateral movement of proteins in the overall bilayer. So can you tell me what are exactly quasi-fluids? I hope you have learnt this in chemistry. Quasi-fluids are partially solid and partially liquid. If you ask an example, the best example which I can give of, and it's known to everyone, it's jelly. Do you know what is the scientific name of jelly? It's agar agar. A-G-A-R, A-G-A-R. Now this movement of proteins inside the lipids, it is known as fluidity. Now the function of the cell membrane. Like I said, the cell membrane is very selectively permeable, so it allows only certain substances to pass through it. Now, there are three types of transport which are available for the molecules which are trying to enter the cell. There is active transport, passive transport and osmosis. What is passive transport? Transport is a transport where there is no energy requirement for any molecules to pass, which means molecules can pass freely without any requirement of energy such as ATP, etc. Now I'll talk about osmosis. Osmosis, we have learnt this in chemistry about osmosis. Osmosis, when molecules move by the process of simple diffusion along the concentration gradient. Now concentration gradient is from higher to lower, and the molecules which follows osmosis and enters the cell are neutral solutes and water. Now I'll talk about active transport. Now active transport. Now active transport is transport where energy is required for a molecule to pass. Now as we know, the polar molecules cannot pass through the unpolar bilayer of the cell membrane, so they need a carrier protein of the membrane to facilitate the transport across the membrane. This does not happen along the concentration gradient. Molecules move from lower to higher region. This is energy dependent process where ATP is utilized. Example, Na plus or K plus pump. Today's lesson ends here. Thank you for watching the video till the end. If you find this video informative, please like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, any queries about the topics that I have discussed today, please feel free to write queries about them in the comment section. I will surely reply to them. Thank you.